Hey guys, welcome back to this Justin, and today I'm going to be talking about my Canucks predictions I had and the results that happened. Keep in mind that COVID is going to keep the numbers lower, so that's something good to keep in mind. Alright, starting with our goaltenders. Thatcher Demko. So basically, red is going to be not meeting expectations, yellow is meeting, and green is exceeding. So Thatcher Demko did not make expectations compared to his season. His fantasy numbers were a little closer. So there's fantasy, my predictions, and their fantasy. So I'm comparing the two, also compared to the final. So his fantasy numbers were closer, and yeah, he was he was not a Calder candidate, but he has amazing flexibility. Jacob Markstrom, I said he met expectations, but many can say and argue that he exceeded expectations. Um, and yeah, my predictions were pretty much spot on for the advanced stats with goals against average and save percentage. But fantasy had a better record ratio compared to the final 25, 23, 20, and 2. And he ended up with 23 wins, 16 losses, and 4 uh, overtime or shootout losses. Fantastic beast, and Jacob Markstrom's always a guy that plays better than his numbers indicate. So, too bad we lost him to Calgary. Not the only one. Troy Stetcher, our first one that made the list in exceeding expectations. Prediction was pretty much spot on for everything. Yeah, he's a really vocal skater. He holds the blue line well and played all 69 games. Jordy Ben didn't make expectations. Fantasy had goals, assists, and points pretty close, but the advanced stats, I was closer with my prediction. Only played 44 games, and just not a great season for Jordy Ben. Not the shutdown D-man, the cleanup guy, kind of like Chris Tanev that we hope for. Not this season, and yeah, a little disappointing. Only one goal. On the other hand, Chris Tanev exceeded expectations. Yeah, predictions were spot on all the way. It was closer than fantasy, and he ended up with 20 points when I expected 22, and that's pretty high for him. Really good. He played all 69 games right before he got injured, so first season where he played all the games. And yeah, he was a clutch goal scorer in the playoffs. That one goal he had, it was a game winner, a series winner. It was pretty cool. Shut down elite D-man, blocking machine, had 159 blocks. So, pretty awesome. Quinn Hughes, what can I say? Just absolutely blew us away. Um, Heading into the season, there was a lot of expectations, a lot of hype around him, but he still broke it. 53 points, 8 goals, 45 assists. What can I say? Played only one game less than the full schedule, 68 games. He was a Calder candidate, came second, All-Star selection, and has elite edge work. Can't wait to see more. Tyler Myers, he didn't make expectations. Prediction was closer with goal assists and points, plus minus with -5 and the hits, but fantasy goals were a lot closer. No, goals are the same. He scored 6 goals. So fantasy was spot on there. And yes, he is a gigantic D-man. 6'8". I'm only 5'8". So a foot difference. Very nice. Alex Edler, I said he met my expectations. Had 33 points, as you can see on the bottom right here or on the side, wherever. 28 assists and 7 special team points was exact for my predictions, so that was pretty good. Given for an aging defenseman, he's been great. Jay Beagle didn't make my expectations, but he's still a face-off and PK specialist and a grinder. Only had 8 points, a little disappointing, but he does his job. Anton Roussel and Louis Eriksson didn't make my expectations. Roussel, I'm going to let off a little easier than Louis just because of the contract, but yeah, both played limited amount of games, and both of them didn't quite make up to my expectations, especially because Roussel was so good last year with Horvat. It was a little disappointing, but other guys stepped up, so didn't mind that too much. Tyler met another one that I said that he didn't make expectations, but he was still he did his role. He's a grinder. He works so hard. He's like Alex Burrows. Only had 8 points, but in the playoffs, as we saw, he was an absolute beast. Fantasy was a lot closer to the final totals there. Adam got it. Exceed expectations. One thing he can work on is his faceoffs, but yeah, 12 goals, 21 assists for 33 points. My points, goals, assists, and special team points were up closer. Plus, minus, and hits were closer for fantasy. But yeah, great one-timer. A better wrist shot snipe, especially against Carey Price. Whew, that was nasty. Tim Schaller, not much to say here. He was traded to LA for Tyler Toffoli, but he had 6 points. He had a solid span. He scored 5 goals. He had a solid stretch, but in the end, fourth line guy, energy guy, character guy. Points, assists, and plus minus was closer for my prediction. Jake Virtanen, awesome. 36 points in 69 games. A breakout year, yes. He's still a streaky scorer. I did predict a little higher, but he was great for us. And he would have broke 20 goals and 40 points if we made it to the end of the season. Hopefully he plays on the top 6. I'm looking for a lot from Jake Virtanen. Sutter, I said he didn't make my expectations. He had 17 points. I expected a little higher. Assists and plus minus was a little closer for me in prediction, and he's a face-off specialist, but he's injury prone, especially when he got to Vancouver. Played a limited amount of games. Josh Levo, before he got injured in that Vegas game, he was exceeding my expectations. Wow. Fantasy was closer with many of the stats. And then plus minus was a little closer with mine. Power play points or special team points was closer with fantasy. He's also a streaky scorer. He has a wicked wrister, and yeah, he was a dangerous top 6 option for us. Brock Besser, we're getting to the good stuff here. I predicted 69 points. Fantasy predicted 69. Both over 30 goals. He didn't get over 30 goals, only 16. 45 points in 57 games, which is still very good. But compared to what I expected, what the fans expect, he did not make our expectations quite well. But he showed his playmaking prowess a lot more, which was good to see. His assists and plus minus was closer with my predictions. Definitely wasn't a Rocket Richard candidate with 16 goals, but another good year for Brock. Sven Berchi, oh gosh, he got sent down, which was terrible. I predicted a very high number. You can see 47 points, and he didn't do that. Top 6 when healthy, I still agree with that, but yeah, a little disappointing. But we had Tanner Pearson on the left side with Horvat, so things happen, and he had concussion problems, so unfortunate for Sven. JT Miller and Tanner Pearson both made my expectations. JT absolutely blew us away. 72 points, 27 goals. Awesome. Fantasy was a lot closer here. A little closer because it was closer with my prediction, but special team points, it was I was a little closer there. He had 27 in total. I only predicted 19, so playmaking goal scorer, yes, and he played all 69 games. Tanner Pearson, again, broke my expectations. 45 points, 18 goals. It was my expectation. He scored 21. And prediction-wise, it was a little closer for me. Points-wise, it was closer for fantasy. And he played all 69 games as well. Elias Pettersson, what can we say? He's an absolute magician. That's Sukian-like. I saw a lot of his highlights even like a couple days ago. He's amazing. And no doubt why he won the Calder. 66 points, a little lower, and just because of COVID, he would have broken that or at least match that. He played one game less than the full schedule, and yeah, soon enough, I think he'll be Calder candidate. His faceoffs can be a little better, but what more can we expect? Fantasy numbers are a little closer. Michael Furland, can't say much because he was injured. Again, concussion as well. I predicted a lot higher points. He's a tough guy. Can't really say much about that. A little disappointing, but when he played, he was impressive. He made an impact. And finally, Bo Horvat, my favorite player. My two favorite players are Quinn Hughes at number 2, Bo Horvat at number 1 here. I predicted a whopping 70 points with over 30 goals. That would have been a breakout year. He didn't do that quite a bit. He matched his jersey number. I don't have that. I have Brock Besser's jersey right here. Maybe I'll up this so you can see a little better. Right there, repping the Vancouver Blue. Maybe lower that a little bit. That might help. I don't know. But yeah, he had 22 goals, 31 assists for 53 points. Minus 15 was a little concerning, but 16 power play points. He scored a lot of goals, especially in the playoffs too. Played all 69 games. Selke candidate for sure. Great in faceoffs, but he did not meet my very, very high expectations. Compared to other people, they probably say Bo Horvat did extremely well, even in the regular season. And finally, my expected lineup for opening night is whenever that's going to be. Hopefully in January, is going to be JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Besser on the top line, the Lotto line, the absolute dynamite line, always dangerous. And then we got Tanner Pearson, Captain Bo, and Jake Virtanen in the second line. I think that's a very dangerous line. That's worked in the past, and Jake Virtanen can make that line even better with the speed. Anton Roussel, Adam Gaudette, and I have Zach McEwen on that right side with Adam Gaudette, and mostly because we lost Josh Levo and Michael Furlan, also, of course, to injury. Josh Levo also went to Calgary. Tough luck. But yeah, Zach Attack, he can be a good option there. And finally, we got Tyler Mott, Jay Beagle, and a mixture of Brandon Sutter or Louis Erickson there on the fourth line. So pretty decent lines, pretty much the same as last year, but with Hoglander and Podkolzin coming in, still exciting. Then we got Quinn Hughes and Nate Schmidt, great addition to our defense. We got Edler and Tyler Myers, second pair, and Oli Levy and Brogan Rafferty. Some people say that'll be a weak pairing, but with Oli Levy being a former fifth overall pick, still got the potential. I think he can still be an impact defenseman in the NHL. And Brogan Rafferty, he's definitely a wild card, and we also got Jordy Ben as well. So I put Brogan Rafferty because he's on the right side. And we got Holt Beast, Braden Holtby. He was a Vezina contender at one point. And I wouldn't be surprised if he can show that form again. And we got Thatcher Demko behind him. They'll probably split games. If Thatcher can show even half of what he showed against Vegas, I think we're in for a treat with goaltending. And that's great to see. Our goaltending's always been one of our strong points, and looks like this year won't be any different. Anyway, that was my prediction and my lineup expectation for this coming season, whenever that's going to be. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Go Canucks, go.